Welcome along to Autodrom Most in the Czech Republic for round 5 of the 2021 NASCAR Wheeling Euro Series EuroNASCAR 2 division. It's great to be back in the Czech Republic. We did not visit in 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic, so the fans are delighted that we return with plenty of NASCAR action for them to look forward to over the course of a busy weekend. Still restricted on the number of fans, but there's going to be plenty for them to enjoy. What's happened so far this season? Well, the first 2 races of the year were held at Circuit Ricardo Tormo in Valencia. And when the lights went out for the first time this season, it was Martin Dubek, the Czech driver, that was going wheel to wheel with Tobias Dauenhauer up towards turn number 1 as they flicked their way through the fast left-hander at Aspar. It would just be Martin Dubek that would come out in the lead, despite Tobias Dauenhauer running a little bit wide coming out of the corner and still applying the pressure as they went towards turn number 2. But Martin Dubek was able to hang on to the lead of the race and would go through to claim his first win of the season. He would back that up, however, just 24 hours later with a second win. On to Brands Hatch next, where once more we saw a great fight for the lead of the race. This time, though, it was the Indian driver, Advait Yoda, that was trying to hang on to the lead despite the pressure from Tobias Dauenhauer. Advait Yoda would go through to claim the win and become the first Indian in NASCAR history to go towards victory lane, his first career win in the series. In the second race of the weekend, again, it was Advait Yoda that was bringing the race to Tobias Dauenhauer, but this time it would be Dauenhauer that would pick up the lead of the race, while Advait Yoda slotted himself through into second. However, his car would struggle as the race would wear on, so Martin Dubek was looking to try and grab second place, but there was contact. He was pitched into a full 360-degree spin. He would recover, but would finish much further down through the order than he would have wished. So Tobias Dauenhauer would come through and pick up the win for the second race of the weekend in the NASCAR Grand Prix of the United Kingdom. Tobias Dauenhauer leads the championship by just 9 points coming into this weekend from Martin Dubek, with the Cypriot driver Vladimir Stoicis in third. As ever, we've got 2 separate championships. EuroNASCAR Pro for the pro drivers. Loris Hazemans leads the championship, and EuroNASCAR 2 that's coming up is for the young and the amateur drivers. Both will have 2 races over the weekend. Well, the umbrellas were out for qualifying around this 4.2 kilometre or 2.6 mile circuit. 21 corners for the drivers to try and get used to. And it's rainy out there as well. Qualifying could well be key for the weekend. The EuroNASCAR 2 race will be held over 14 laps. In qualifying, though, it's Tobias Dauenhauer that claimed his first pole position of the season. Let's hear from the pole sitter.
So yeah, it was a difficult qualifying for me. Difficult conditions, wet conditions, and the track was drying up. And I did my last lap or my fastest lap in my last lap, so it was pretty hard. But yeah, I was very happy to secure the pole position and the best result for the first race.
So Tobias Dauenhauer looking to try and convert that pole position to a race win. That would mean, if he could, it would be back-to-back wins because he won the second of the 2 races at the NASCAR Grand Prix of the United Kingdom. But the umbrellas are up. It's wet out there. Therefore, it's going to be a single-file start to this race. Tobias Dauenhauer and Simon Palat on the front row of the grid. In reality, Vladimir Stoicis and Martin Dubek 3rd and 4th. Buckle up, we go green for the first time this weekend in EuroNASCAR 2. Single-file start should hopefully prevent any problems up at the tight turn number 1, which is the right-hand entry to the chicane. Turn number 2 is the left-hand entry, but already Tobias Dauenhauer is through the gravel trap, just going to show how tricky the conditions are. He carves his way back out onto track, hopefully not having gained an advantage as a result of shortcutting that chicane, so he needs to be conscious that he isn't deemed to have gained an advantage. So he leads the race, and it's Simon Palat that's there in second position. There's already damage to the front of the number 90 car. That looks as though it is Nave Talor that's got damage to the front of his Not Only Motorsport Chevy. But the race continues with already Tobias Dauenhauer looking to try and leap away in the lead of the race. Wet conditions out on track. You can see just how cloudy it is. We've had such changeable weather so far this weekend. And it's tended to mean that you start the session on one tyre, and as the session wears on, the track conditions change, and it's really the other tyre that you need. You've only got choice of 2, the slick or the wet. Great fight going on for second place. Simon Palat under pressure from Advait Yoda, whilst Martin Dubek's trying to squeeze his way through. He sits there in 4th place, remember, as we go on board with the Czech driver at his home NASCAR Grand Prix. Gently applying the throttle to the 5.7 litre, 400 brake horsepower, number 7 machine. He's under attack from the car behind as well, which looks as though it's Francesco Garisto that sits directly behind Martin Dubek. We go back on board with the Czech driver as the speeds begin to build. So gentle on the downshift as well to make sure that you don't lock the rear axle, and Martin Dubek trying to sneak up the inside of Simon Palat, who runs a little bit wide. The tail end just gets away from him on the wet curbs as the wheels spin up, and that's enough now for Martin Dubek to go through and take the place away. He's up into third position now. Down to fourth goes Simon Palat, and he's now coming under pressure from the number 42 car, Francesco Garisto, who also sneaks through. So Simon Palat losing 2 places there. Through goes Martin Dubek, through goes Francesco Garisto. Now the weather conditions starting to improve slightly now. The clouds disappearing. You can see a little bit of sunshine in the background, so it's still a wet track. You can still see spray coming from the tail end of the cars, but there's plenty of laps to go still, and there's starting to become a drying line there. Now, if that remains the case, we might start to see a few cars just heading off the dry line onto the wet stuff to try and cool their tyres down, because they're all on the Control Hoosier wet tyre for this race. There goes Advait Yoda, still looking to try and hang on to second position. Martin Dubek still there in third, so here's the gap, first to second, second to third. There's the top 3 through the shop now. The German from the Indian from the Czech driver. Great battle for fifth going on as Simon Palat has to stick his elbows out to try and prevent Levi Lintecantu from squeezing his way through. So the number 66 car in the hands of the Belgian, under pressure from the Finnish driver, Levi Lintecantu. Moment, I'm not convinced that Levi Lintecantu is going to be able to squeeze his way through. No, he's just too far back, isn't he, at the moment, Levi Lintecantu? Not for want of trying, but the Finnish driver, who did 4 races with us in the 2020 championship season and is in for the full season this year, is pushing as hard as he can on a circuit where the conditions are changing, not just lap after lap, but corner after corner. They are slowly improving. So the levels of grip getting better, but the tyres continually starting to now overheat and go outside of the ideal operating window. So there is Levi Lintecantu, still pushing hard. Simon Palat seems to have everything in hand at the moment at the wheel of the DF1 Racing Chevy. Simon finished 8th in the EuroNASCAR 2 standings last year. This man here, Tobias Dauenhauer, was runner-up in the EuroNASCAR standings last year. He won the Rookie Championship, but he's back for his second season of racing and is looking to try and go 1 step higher in the overall championship title. For the moment, it's been a good start to the season for him. We go on board this time with Paolo Valeri on board the number 8 car, fighting away with Alberto Panebianco, who lies ahead. Great soundtrack these 5.7-litre engines make. Alberto Panebianco coming under pressure from Paolo Valeri. Just up the road from them is also Miguel Gomez, the Portuguese driver. He's driving the yellow and green number 46 Marco Steep Motorsport car. So there goes Paolo Valeri. Ahead is the black car of Alberto Panebianco. You can just see the spray coming out the tail end of Miguel Gomez's car, who is diving for the wet now. So Panebianco's doing the same. So maybe they feel that the circuit is just starting to dry a little bit now. So out of the chicane once more. Paolo Valeri's car just sort of skips a little bit sideways in the hands of the Italian driver, one of many drivers in the field that came through one of the NASCAR recruitment days and is thoroughly enjoying his time pedaling this Vict Motorsport car as hard as he can, trying to get himself inside the top 10. But for the moment, he's just coming up 1 place short, almost into the back of Alberto Panebianco there, but just avoided contact as they break for turn number 10, the hairpin. Battle for 8th place going on as well. This is the Ukrainian Yevgen Sokolovsky, who has got Francesco Garisto right behind him. So that's the Marco Steep Motorsport light blue car coming under pressure from the 42 Racing Shadow of Garisto, the young Italian that sits behind. Looks to try and sneak his way up the inside. Can't quite do it just as yet, though, but then Sokolovsky runs a little bit wide out of turn number 20. That could be the opportunity for Garisto to get a good exit off this corner. That's the key to it, get a good exit off this corner. He's got the run on Yevgen Sokolovsky and might just be able to sneak through in the braking area for the right and left flicks at the chicane. Looks as though he's managed to do so. Through he goes, takes the place away. He is now up into 8th. For Paolo Valeri, though, he's still bottled up behind Alberto Panebianco at the moment, but this time it looks as though the number 8 has got the run. Sneaks his way up the inside, and I think he's going to go through there yet. Paolo Valeri, all of that patience has finally worked for him, I think. Through he goes. He'll now move up into 10th position and will try and hunt down the car ahead, which will be the Portuguese driver, Miguel Gomez. So there is Gomez. There is Paolo Valeri. Alberto Panebianco, having lost the place, now sitting behind. You can see there's a little break in the clouds every now and again. We haven't got the spray coming off the tail end of the cars that we had earlier on, and Paolo Valeri doing a really good job here of hounding Miguel Gomez. He's looking for the inside line, runs a little bit wide. There's contact between the pair of them as they go sort of door handle to door handle. Paolo Valeri comes out ahead of Miguel Gomez, but is there any damage to the front of his car? That's the important thing. Yes, there is. You can see the front bodywork is just slightly deranged on the number 8 car. Now, that could be a problem. Yeah, you can see there's some tyre up there for Paolo Valeri. Tobias Downhauer still pushing hard. He's in the lead of the race, but almost ran out of room there as he headed out of the turn 2 left-hander. But for Tobias Downhauer, fresh from a win at Brands Hatch, this is a driver that is yet to finish off the podium so far this season. It's his second win of the season. Tobias Downhauer goes towards victory lane for the second time this season. Advait Teodor will finish in second place, and Martin Dubeck will finish in third position. So let's hear from our race winner down there in victory lane.
It was difficult condition outside, very slippery, and I did a little mistake at the start, at the beginning, but I could manage a small gap to the second place. So I'm very happy. Many thanks to the whole team. They did an amazing job. I had a really, really good car, great car, and yeah, still tons of fun, and I'm looking forward to the race tomorrow.
So a great win for Tobias Downhauer. However, in the subcategories, the Rookie Trophy win for drivers in their first season of NASCAR racing went the way of Levi Linterkantu. In the Legend Trophy for drivers over 40, it was Max Lancer that came out on top. And in the Lady Trophy, it was Alina Leubnegger that claimed the win.